Hi everyone, my name's Naomi. I'm the owner of Crochet, and I am so excited to be making my first YouTube video. Obviously, I don't have a proper setup right now. Literally, my phone is stacked up on like 3 different tissue boxes on top of my air conditioner by my window. So please don't judge too much. I hope in the future I'll be getting a better setup, but this is what it is for now. So I'm going to be doing a lot of different stuff on this channel, including, behind the scenes. I'll do some tutorials, all crochet related things. But for this first video, I actually wanted to focus on something a bit different. So one thing I didn't expect when I started my crochet account was how much I would love the social media side of it. That definitely was not something I was expecting at all. As I started to learn more and try to do better to grow my account, I just became fascinated with it. I loved learning more about, the algorithm, what does well, what doesn't do well, all that sort of stuff. And because of that, I started to thinking about ways I could help other crocheters, because something I hear and get asked about all the time is social media. A lot of people are so passionate about crochet. They want to grow their crochet account or their crochet business, but they just don't understand the social media aspect of it, and they're really struggling with that. So that's sort of where I wanted to come in and give some advice. There's a lot of people who give social media advice in general, but I found personally a lot of that doesn't always apply to crochet and other handmade crafts, because there are obviously quite a few differences there. So that's why I wanted to tailor something specifically to crocheters. For this video, I'm going to dissect a video of mine that's currently going pretty viral. And what's important about that is it's also leading me to a ton of new sales and followers. So I'm going to dissect basically all the aspects of it that I think made it go viral, and the most important part is why it led to sales and followers, because you can have a viral video that doesn't do any of those things. I'll get into that a bit more as the video goes on. But yeah, I hope you enjoy. So I guess first I'll just show you the video. Now it is going to play without audio because I don't want to deal with, copyright claims or anything like that. So currently that video has around 1.7 million views, I think, on Instagram, and around 900K on TikTok the last time I checked. It's definitely not the first time I've had a viral video. I'm very lucky for that. But the reason I'm choosing to focus on my most recent video is I think it is such a good example of how you can leverage social media for your business. Now I am going to be focusing mainly on Instagram for this video. Obviously the video is doing well on both platforms, but I personally am a bit more comfortable with focusing on Instagram because, I think I know that platform a little bit better, and I just think it would make things easier just to focus on one platform, because there are some differences on what might go viral on one versus the other. So again, I want to state, because this is so important, I'm going to explain not only why it's viral, but why it led to such a big increase in sales. The video's only been out for a few days, and just on my website alone, there's a 650% increase in the number of orders I'm getting. And that's not even including Etsy and Ribbler, where I'm also selling the patterns. If you look at my Instagram analytics, you could see this huge spike, right? So that's obviously the day I first released the video. And if you look at the amount of followers, I'll sort of make a video so you could see. If you look at the amount of followers, I had quite a decent, growth before that, but it looks so small because of the way it just shot up, right? I hope it's really clear when I share these numbers that I'm not trying to brag, but rather just give you concrete evidence and proof to show what can happen when you take social media seriously, and also what a good targeted viral video does for your sales and your followers, instead of just, any random video that can go viral. So one thing about this video is that I make it really clear from the very beginning who the audience is. It's for crocheters because I'm talking about crochet patterns. So that means that people who are interested in crochet patterns are going to stop and watch. It also means that people who aren't really interested in that might not stop. No, you do want people to watch your video no matter what. However, it's more valuable if the audience that you are trying to sell something to watches it, right? So as an example, I could have a video of my dog Crouton that goes viral on my crochet account, but that's not necessarily going to lead to any more sales, because that has nothing to do with what my business is, right? maybe sure if I leveraged it in terms of like I have, you know, stickers with like a hot dog pug, or I have the pattern of the hot dog pug. If I worked that in, you know, that could be a benefit. But if it was solely just a video of my dog, I'd get a lot of dog lovers, but those are not going to be the people that are going to buy a pattern from me most likely. It also starts with a hook. I think a hook is the most important thing that you can do in the first few seconds of your video. It's make or break. So a hook is basically something that makes someone stop scrolling and be interested enough to keep watching the video. I like to get really creative usually with some of my hooks, and this one, you know, is a bit more basic, but still, either way, it's a good start. And one of the reasons why it's a good hook is because people want to see all of the creations. They know it's going to be multiple things. If I didn't have that text on it and I just showed one quick photo or video of one of my patterns, people might not think to keep watching to see more. The video also starts with my face. So I get it. A lot of people do not want to show their face on camera. That was something I struggled with at first too, and I understand it's not easy at all. But getting comfortable on camera, I think, has some huge benefits. It's definitely not make or break, but if you think about most big crochet accounts, you probably know their face or what they look like. So the reason why showing your face at the beginning of the video and in general is important is for a couple reasons. The first thing is it can be a bit more interesting. Like, if I'm just having a hook on screen before I actually want to show stuff, sure, I can film, you know, outside my window, get some stock footage. And I've done that before, and sometimes those videos are successful. But, you know, if you're just filming your wall and have text over it, people see that quite a lot, so they're more likely to scroll because it's just not as interesting as just seeing a face, right? And another thing is brand recognition. So if someone's scrolling and they know my content, then they'll see my face, they'll recognize that, and they'll want to watch the video because they know it's me. If it just was a blank, you know, wall that said, you know, here's some crochet patterns I released, they might not necessarily be like, I don't know if I like that person, and just keep scrolling or not bother, right? But because they know it's me, they're going to stick around and watch it. And the second reason is for people who don't know. So if people don't know who you are, it's also really beneficial because then now they know what your face looks like. So if they enjoyed that video, even if they don't follow you, a video with my face pops up again on their while they're scrolling, they might be more likely to watch it because they already recognize me. It also just makes you feel more personable, right? Because people can connect to you. So it's going to be hard to get your face on camera if that's not something you're comfortable with. But again, it's something I really do recommend. At some point, maybe if people are interested, I'll try to do a video on getting more comfortable on camera. But the honest truth is you will be uncomfortable at first, but the way to get comfortable on camera is being uncomfortable on camera, unfortunately. So if you can try to push through that and know that, you know what, at first, it might take you 20 takes to feel comfortable posting like a 10-second clip. But the more you do it, you'll relax more, you'll get more comfortable, and you'll probably start caring a little bit less, which will make it easier. Another thing that's great about this video is I'm showing multiple projects. So that not only has way more ways for people to pique their interest, right? Because, you know, they might not be interested in my Tacosaurus pattern, but then they see my crab cake pattern and then they like that one, right? Showing multiple things in one video is also a great way to continue to show off products that you've already shown off once. So something that a lot of people say is they just don't have content. And the thing is, if you keep any of your makes, you can make content. You can make content even without any, you know, finished object, but still. So I keep one of everything I make, and that's probably a bit more unusual. A lot of people don't do that. But that's so I can continuously redo it. Like, I maybe make a new pattern or new stuffed animal, like something that you haven't seen before, once a month, maybe twice a month, max. But I'm constantly making content every single day. So I'm able to do that because I'm reusing the same stuffed animal. You might have seen it before, but if I can show it to you in different unique ways or mixed in with other stuff, it won't seem as repetitive, right? Another great thing is it encourages shares and saves. And there's more opportunities, sort of like I mentioned before, there's more opportunities for someone to find something they like and be like, oh, I want to make that. Or, oh, my friend loves tacos and dinosaurs, I have to send her this, right? So it just increases the likelihood that people are going to relate or that something in their video will catch their eye. The caption also says, these are just some of my patterns. So what that does is that encourages people to want to go to my page to see what other patterns I have. For descriptions, I always recommend you want to have some sort of call to action, which is, you know, encouraging someone to do something, or you want to ask a question, something to make them engage with your content, right? Another caption I could have done, for example, would have been, which one would you pick, or which one would you want to make, right? So that's a question, so people would comment which one their favorite is, right? And the way I did it was saying this is just some, because in this case, I wanted them to click to go to my page and see what else I can have to offer. Some other just quick basic things that are, in my opinion, almost essential for a successful video is natural lighting or good lighting. I recommend filming in natural lighting when you can, especially because with crochet, I find with any sort of other lighting, it can often make the colors look quite different. If you don't have the option for natural lighting, that's fine, but you know, do it when you can. So this could be filming outside, that's often the easiest, but that's not always an option or convenient for someone. So for me personally, I literally just use the window in my room and I just film stuff either on my bed or just at the wall. So you don't have to have a fancy setup, as long as you can have some sort of like blank wall or some area where it's not too busy. That would be a huge recommendation of mine. You can get creative, you don't have to be expensive with it. A three-sided, you know, Bristol board or whatever you'd call it, display board. And I used to put that on my bed with a pillow and then a sheet over top, and that's what I would sometimes use as a blank background. So I'll definitely try to make another video on all sort of little hacks and lazy ways that you can get around having to buy a bunch of professional equipment, because a lot of people don't have the time, space, money for any of those things, right? Another thing that's very important to remember is, like I said before, is a viral video does not necessarily equal sales or followers. I have had some videos that do decently well that, you know, maybe I got some extra followers, but it wasn't a huge uptick, and definitely ones that wouldn't relate to sales. You know, and some of those that doesn't mean they don't have a purpose. Your goal of every video should not necessarily be to constantly be shoving content down people's throat to buy and buy and buy, right? Not every single video should just be you doing a sales pitch, is what I'm saying. The great thing about this video is from very close to the beginning, you know what it is you can expect from me and what it is I do. You know, at the hook at the very beginning says crochet patterns. As you see, it's all food animals, right? And you don't have to have such a specific niche, obviously, like mine's very specific, but it tells people what they can expect from my channel. Something else I would consider doing sometimes is, you know, saying follow for more or something like that. I've used that here and there. I try not to overuse that. Even just have something like, you know, where the follow button would be. Honestly, near the end of the video, just kind of have something that might make people's eyes go down there. Whether you're putting text near there, just make sure when the text isn't going to be covered, but put it like, you know, right on top of where it would be, something to sort of make their eyes look down there, and then maybe they can be like, oh, you know what, I'm not following that person. Because you can continuously show up on someone's reels that they're scrolling and stuff, and then you might not even realize that they don't follow you because, you know, they've been seeing so much of your work, right? So I hope that some of this explained not only why that video did well, but also why it led to increase in sales and followers. So I really hope you enjoyed it. If you have any other questions or things you want me to cover, you leave it below. And thank you so much for watching.